Books, books. I like books. I'm gonna read them all. Hi readers, Chris here. Welcome to my channel where I review fantasy, Stephen King, all sorts of books. And today I'm talking about my top 10 most anticipated book releases for this month, June 2023. I had a hard time coming up with the list for this month, not because there weren't enough books, because there's tons of books that come out every month, but ones that I was personally interested in. So as per usual, I've got a lot of fantasy in here, but some other ones mixed in between. These are not in any sort of order other than by publication date. So let me jump in with my number one pick for June, which is going to be Divinity 36 by Gail Carriger. Gail Carriger is one of my all-time favorite authors. I love her series. I love her steampunk, Victorian fantasy, but this is actually a science fiction book from her, which is something new, so I'm super interested to see what she did here. I'm just going to read you the description off of Amazon, which says, Fex is a barista on a forgotten moon, which is fine. He likes being ignored and he's good at making drinks. Until one day, an alien hears him singing and recruits him to be a god. Now, Fex is thrust headfirst into the galaxy's most cutthroat entertainment industry, where music is viable, the price of fame can kill, and the only friends he has want to be worshipped. Welcome to the Divinity, where there is no difference between celebrity and religion, love and belief, alkalite and alien, where the right kind of obsession can drive a person crazy or turn them divine. Oh my God. I love Gail Carriger, and I love that she's doing a sci-fi. I am so excited for this. If you are excited for this, Divinity 36 is out on June 1st. And yes, in general, most book releases are on Tuesdays. I have no idea why this one is not, but that's okay. My second pick for June is St. Juniper's Folly, which is described as being Cemetery Boys meets The Haunting of Bly Manor, which, I mean, just that alone sounds really, really, really cool. I love the whole haunted house thing. This is a YA take. And according to Amazon, this one says, for Jamie, returning to the Vermont town of St. Juniper means returning to a past he spent 8 years trying to forget. After shuttling between foster homes, he hopes to make something out of this fresh start. But every gossip in town already knows his business, and with reminders of his past everywhere, he seeks out solitude in the nearby woods, St. Juniper's Folly, and does not return. For Theo, St. Juniper means being stuck. He knows there's more out there, but he's scared to go find it. His senior year is going to be like all the rest, dull and claustrophobic. That is, until he wanders into the Folly and stumbles on a haunted house with Arabic yet handsome boy trapped, as in physically trapped, inside. For Taylor, St. Juniper is a mystery. She tries to practice the magic her dad banned from the house after her mom, an accomplished witch, suddenly died. But without someone to guide her, she's floundering. Then, a wide-eyed teenager barges into her life, rambling about a haunted house and a trapped boy. He needs a witch. The Folly and its ghosts will draw these three teenagers together. But can they each face their demons to forge a bond strong enough to escape the Folly's shadow? Alex Crespo's queer haunted house mystery is equal parts spine-tingling thrills, a celebration of found family, and a must-read for paranormal romance fans. Okay, I am a huge fan of paranormal romance, mostly the adult stuff. However, I do have an open mind. I haven't read too many YA paranormal romances in general, and this sounds like a great one to start with. A paranormal romance that's also a haunted house mystery. I don't think I need to know anything else. If you don't need to know anything else, St. Juniper's Folly will be available on June 6th. My third pick for the month is going to be The Chaperone by Hendrix. And this book is described as being a Handmaid's Tale for YA, which, again, I think is really cool. I feel like I haven't read a good dystopian book in a while, so I'm hoping that this one will fit the bill. So this one says, like every young woman in New America, Stella knows the rules. Deflect attention, abstain from sin, navigate the world with care, give obedience, embrace purity, respect your chaperone. Girls in New America must have a chaperone with them at all times. Because of this, Stella is never alone. She can't go out by herself or learn about the world. She can't even spend time with boys except at formal visitations. Still, Stella feels lucky that her chaperone, Sister Helen, is like a friend to her. And then the unthinkable happens. Sister Helen dies suddenly, and Stella feels lost, especially when she's assigned a new chaperone just days later. Sister Laura is different. She has radical ideas about what Stella should be doing. She leaves Stella alone in public and even knows how to get her into hush-hush parties where all kinds of forbidden things happen. As Stella spends more time with Sister Laura, she begins to question everything she's been taught. What if the constable's rules don't actually protect girls? What if they were never meant to keep them safe? Once Stella glimpses both real freedom and the dark truths behind New America, she has no choice but to fight against the world she knows, risking everything to set out on a dangerous journey across what used to be the United States. Ooh, I feel like this is like the perfect book for this day and age. It's really funny to think about the fact that like 100 years ago, like girls really did have chaperones. Like this was a real thing. You could not be alone with a man. Like this was a true thing. But I love that it's like taking this thing that used to be and bringing it back in a super extreme way. So this sounds like it has a potential to be a total knockout. If it sounds like it's got potential to you, The Chaperone will be available on June 6th. My fourth pick for June is going to be Wolfpack by Ameila Brunskill. And this book is about a cult. And I don't know why, but for some reason, books about cults are super interesting. So this one is about 9 girls bound together in beautiful, virtuous Havenwood, a refuge from an unsafe world. Then there are 8, one of them gone, departed with no warning. Did this member of their pack stray willingly, or did something more sinister occur? The girls seek answers, not knowing if they should be angry, frightened, or perhaps they should be both. That is all it says. That is all it says. There's one more line that says that this shocking, suspenseful novel is about a group of teenage girls living in a cult and shows the terrifying paranoia and suspicion that emerges when one of them goes missing. Perfect for fans of We Are Liars. I actually like that there isn't like a super long description for this book. I've been having a lot of fun recently, like kind of going into books blind and just seeing what happens, but there's definitely enough in this description to interest me. Some sort of a cult, one goes missing. I don't know, it could be really cool. So if Wolfpack sounds like it could be cool to you, it'll be available on June 13th. My fifth pick for June is going to be The Faint of Heart by Kerilynn Wilson. This sounds like one of the most unique books of the month, I think, but let me know what you think. So this one says, what would you do if you were the only person left with a heart? The only person who felt anything at all? Would you give in to pressure to conform? Or would you protect your heart at all costs? Part Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind and part Severance, this debut teen graphic novel is a vivid and haunting read for fans of Nimona and This One Summer. I don't know if anyone has seen Severance on Apple TV, but oh my god, that show is a mind blower. So I'm hoping that this graphic novel will be the same. So, not long ago, the scientists discovered that all sadness, anxiety, and anger disappeared when you removed your heart. And that's all it took. Soon enough, the hospital had lines out the door, even though the procedure numbed the good feelings too. Everyone did it. Everyone except high school student June. But now the pressure, loneliness, and heartache are mounting, and it's becoming harder and harder to be the only one with a heart. One day, June comes across an abandoned heart in a jar. The heart in the jar intrigues her, it baffles her, and it brings her hope. But the heart also brings her Max, a classmate with a secret of his own. And it may rip June's own heart in two. Part speculative fiction, part cautionary tale, The Faint of Heart is a moving and ethereal debut that questions morality and the feelings that seem too big to contain. Oh my gosh. I mean, this sounds like it has amazing potential. Amazing potential. If it sounds like it has amazing potential to you, The Faint of Heart will be available on June 13th. My sixth pick for the month is going to be an adult fantasy. I feel like, again, I haven't found a ton of new adult fantasies that I've been excited about, but this one sounds like it could be a winner. So this one says, if you knew how dark tomorrow would be, what would you do today? Ringmaster Rin, to those who know her best, can jump into different moments in time as easily as her wife Odette soars from bar to bar on the trapeze. And the circus they lead is a rare home and safe haven for magical misfits and outcasts, known as Sparks. With the world still reeling for World War I, Rin and her troupe, the Circus of the Fantasticals, travel the Midwest, offering a single night of enchantment and respite to all those who step into the big top. But threats come at Rin from all sides. The future holds an impending war that the Sparks can see barreling toward their show and everyone in it. And Rin's past creeps closer every day, a malevolent shadow she can't fully escape. It takes the form of another circus, with tents as black as midnight, and a ringmaster who rules over his troupe with a dangerous power. Rin's circus has something he wants, and he won't stop until it's his. First of all, I've really enjoyed another story about a magical circus recently. That was Revel, so that's good. Second of all, this also takes place in kind of like the same time period, I think, like 1920s-ish, but this is a totally different area of the country, the world that Revel took place in. This is a much more adult story, or at least it's supposed to be. So if I like this book even half as much as I like Revel, it could be a fantastic addition to my collection. So with the first bright thing, it sounds like something you might want to add to your collection. It'll be available on June 13th. My seventh pick for June is going to be A Crooked Mark by Linda Cow. This sounds like a really cool story that honestly I could see being like a TV show or a movie. So this one says, Ray Winter should be dead. Some say that walking away from the car crash that killed her dad is a miracle. But 17-year-old Matthew Watts knows that the forces of good aren't the only ones at work. The devil, Lucifer himself, can mark a soul about to pass on, sending it back to the land of the living to carry out his evil will. Matt has grown up skipping from town to town alongside his father, hunting anyone who has this mark. They have one purpose: find these people and exterminate them. After helping his father for years, Matt takes on his own mission, Ray Winter, miracle survivor. But when Matt starts to fall for Ray, to make friends for the first time in his life, he's not sure who or what to believe anymore. How can someone like Ray, someone who is thoughtful and smart and kind, be an agent of the devil? With the lines of reality and fantasy, myth and paranoia blurred, Matt confronts an awful truth. What if the devil's mark doesn't exist? Ooh, dun dun dun. Okay, I feel like this sounds super cool. I love the whole idea of like a monster hunter or like a devil hunter, someone with the devil's mark. I don't know, this sounds like it's got a lot of cool stuff in it. And like I said, I could picture this being like a TV show or a movie someday, a serial. So I don't know, maybe it's just me, but if it sounds cool to you, A Crooked Mark will be available on June 20th. My eighth pick for June is another fantasy, this one inspired by Korean history and myths. I read a couple Asian-inspired fantasies, but none of them have specifically been Korean-inspired, so I'm super excited about this one. So this one is about Mireille. Mireille was meant to save her kingdom, but the ceremony before her coronation ends in terror and death. unlocking a strange new power within her and foretelling the return of a monster that even the gods fear. Amid the chaos, Moray's beloved older brother is taken, threatening the peninsula's already tenuous truce. Desperate to save her brother and defeat this ancient enemy before the queendom is beset by war, Moray sets out on a journey with an unlikely group of companions, while her unpredictable magic gives her terrifying visions of a future she must stop at any cost. A crown princess, a monster the gods fear, a destiny no one can outrun. Ooh, okay, again, a lot of cool stuff here. We've got monsters, we've got princesses. I love the unlikely group of companions, like getting the gang, the team together. I don't know if that's what happens here, but that's the kind of vibe it gives me. And like I said, I've never read anything inspired by Korean myths. So if you want to read something inspired by Korean myths, And Break the Pretty Kings will be available on June 20th. All right, getting down towards the end here. My 9th pick for June is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I have read one Ashley Poston book before, and for the majority, I really enjoyed the book. However, the book had a completely awful, terrible ending. So I'm a little nervous about this one, but up until that ending, it was pretty good. So maybe she's learned how to fix her ending since then. So this one says, sometimes the worst day of your life happens and you have to figure out how to live after it. So Clementine forms a plan to keep her heart safe. Hard work, find someone decent to love, and try to remember to chase the moon. The last one is silly and obviously metaphorical, but her aunt always told her that you needed at least one big dream to keep going. And for the last year, the plan has gone off without a hitch, mostly. The love part is hard because she doesn't want to get too close to anyone. She isn't sure her heart can take it. And then she finds a strange man standing in the kitchen of her late aunt's apartment. A man with kind eyes and a southern drawl and a taste for lemon pies. The kind of man that, before it all, she would have fallen head over heels for, and she might again. Except he exists in the past, 7 years ago to be exact, and she, quite literally, lives 7 years in the future. Her aunt always said the apartment was a pinch in time, a place where moments blended together like watercolors, and Clementine knows that if she lets her heart fall, she'll be doomed. After all, love is never a matter of time, but a matter of time being. Ooh, I love that. I love that. It's not our time. I feel like I know that's a line from somewhere, some movie, some book, whatever. Again, this sounds like it could be really cool. Obviously, it's a romance, a magical romance, which sometimes I can go either way on, but I would be willing to give this one a try. If you're willing to give this one a try, The 7-Year Slip will be available on June 27th. And finally, that brings me to my 10th pick for June, and that's going to be Sing Me to Sleep by Gabi Burton. First of all, can we just say, how gorgeous is this cover? Absolutely stunning, absolutely stunning. I would probably pick this up from a bookstore just because of the cover. But this is described as being a dark, seductive YA fantasy where a siren must choose between protecting her family and following her heart. Ooh. Okay. So yes, another YA fantasy romance, but this one in particular sounds like it could be really fun. I have no idea how to pronounce the name that's written here, so I'm just going to guess and we'll see what happens. Sershi Sarkova survives on lies. As a soldier in training at the most prestigious barracks in the kingdom, she lies about being a siren to avoid execution. At night, working as an assassin for a dangerous group of mercenaries, Sershi lies about her true identity. And to her family, Sershi tells the biggest lie of all, that she can control her siren powers and doesn't struggle constantly against an impulse to kill. As the top trainee in her class, Sershi would be headed for a bright future if it weren't for the need to keep her secrets out of the spotlight. But when a mysterious blackmailer threatens her sister, Sershi takes a dangerous job that will help her investigate. She becomes personal bodyguard to the crown prince. Saoirse should hate Prince Hayes. After all, his father is the one who enforces the kingdom's brutal creature segregation laws. But when Hayes turns out to be kind, thoughtful, and charming, Saoirse finds herself increasingly drawn to him, especially when they're forced to work together to stop a deadly killer who's plaguing the city. There's only one problem. Saoirse is that deadly killer. Featuring an all-black and brown cast, a forbidden romance, and a compulsively dark plot full of twists, this thrilling YA fantasy is perfect for fans of A Song Below Water and To Kill a Kingdom. I love the whole forbidden romance trope. If I'm going to read a romance, there's usually two things I want. Enemies to lovers or forbidden romance. I mean, one of those two things, and there's a good chance that I'll like it. And so I just love this whole concept of like, you know, siren song. It's giving me Little Mermaid vibes, you know, that just came out. So I feel like this book coming out now is really good timing. Although this mermaid in her siren song actually does want to drown sailors to their death and kill them. So I don't know. But again, this sounds like it has the potential to be absolutely a great read. If it sounds great to you, Sing Me to Sleep will be available on June 27th. So there you have it. Those are all my picks for June. I just went to go look for one of the ferrets, but they're all sleeping today. So no furry friends today, but I'm sure there'll be more in the future. But for right now, I want to know from you, what are you most looking forward to this month? Is it a book that I mentioned? Maybe one I didn't mention? Whatever your thoughts, put them in the comments below. And as always, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not already, please subscribe to my channel and come back soon. All right, everyone. Happy reading.